Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Rodney Hash. Today we've got some good news and some bad news regarding the Ohio cannabis laws, as well as at the very end, I'll tell you guys a really funny story, specifically how I got this here black eye. Nah. So we'll get right into it. We'll start off with the bad news first. So for those of you who don't know, last week, Friday, May 29th, there was a raid that happened at the Holistic Cloud event. This was at the Holistic Cloud Event Center in not Bel Air, Ohio, where the store is at, but in Cadiz, Ohio, in Harrison County, Ohio. So if you haven't seen the footage yet, I'm about to show you it right now, and then we'll talk about it. I've been doing a lot of deep diving. I've got an open request or open records request out for it. And I'm really trying to dig into this as much as possible. I've got a lot of information I got to cover. So first, I want you guys to see what I woke up to first thing in the morning.
At Cadiz, Ohio, at Breezy Acres, and the sheriffs have showed up. The police, bunch of little trucks, babysitter truck, her truck, sheriff's department, I believe, police. It's fucking bullshit. These people are doing nothing wrong. I am doing nothing wrong.
So as you can see there's two people in handcuffs, seemingly getting arrested. I will say I've seen this vendor booth before. I don't really know them super well, so I couldn't really reach out to them. I did make an attempt, but I don't know them. I don't know their phone number or anything like that. I reached out to their Facebook page. Get nothing. It is what it is. Turns out they showed up to an event the next day, so I knew they were out and about. And from word of mouth, what I had heard from allegedly what happened, they were there. They were allowed to be there. They were told to be there. They were told that it's fine. And they think that Billy Blaze, the Holistic Cloud owner, snitched on them, yada, yada, yada. The reason they feel that way is because they had allegedly sold a single pre-roll, and I do have someone else, I have multiple people that are telling me this story, and it seems like it's all kind of lining up. Allegedly, they sold a pre-roll to an undercover, a female undercover. Dude was looking at his phone, just kind of talking to his wife, doing his thing, and then trying to remember exactly how this story's been told to me. They were looking at their phone after they sold the thing to the undercover, allegedly. And then they looked up and they seen all the manager tents, Billy Blazes and all of them just gone. And they're like, oh, that's weird. And just kept going, talking to his phone or to his wife for a second. And then lo and behold, there's 5 cop cars rolling down. And as you guys just seen, yeah, they got put in handcuffs. They took 2 pounds of marijuana, weed, cannabis, hemp, whatever we're calling it nowadays. They took 2 pounds of it, which in the grand scheme of things, 2 pounds may sound like a lot to some people, but it's really not all that much. But it is still enough to be considered a felony still here in Ohio, especially after SB 56. So before SB 56, you could technically gift. There's the whole gift and donation loophole, and there's a whole other mess of things, which is actually what Washington, D.C., the nation's capital, actually ran by, is that loophole of the gift and donation system long before they ever got dispensaries. And it was that way for years. It was not a problem. Personally, I think we need something more like that. I think we need a safe access point, and at Lobby Day tomorrow or on Monday, I will be talking about that. Things like Vehicle City Social, Clio Cultivation, things like that, we should be bringing them here. We should be able to have transfer points and not be an issue. If I grow something home grow and I go and I want to meet someone that's on the other side of the state and we want to trade home grows, there is no reason that we shouldn't be able to meet somewhere in Columbus that's a safe access point to be able to trade products. Beside the point, coming back to the story. So after they got placed under arrest, they had their stuff taken. They didn't get booked. They didn't go to the jail. So I thought that was really weird. So I kept digging. And like I said, I filed an open records request. I even went as far as calling the local sheriff's department because I knew the sheriff's department was involved. And I will say this all does circle back into SB 56 in a lot of ways, and it's not good. And you will understand why very shortly. But before they get there, I do want you guys to understand where I was at with all of this. So the next step is obviously to ask Holistic Acres, the venue, Billy Blaze, and all those guys what's up. Especially because people are pointing at saying like, hey, Billy Blaze snitched on them, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense because it is his venue. He is technically a hemp operator, even though they're technically now closed for business. Can't operate in hemp in any way, shape, or form after SB 56. So this is, and I will put this up on screen right here somewhere. This is exactly what was sent to me. I asked the Holistic Acres Event Center, Holistic Acres Event Center LLC Facebook page, hey, do you have any comment on what happened Friday? And this was the response as it's shown here. Yes, we tried to have a kid and family friendly event with no cannabis. Signs were posted, waivers were passed out to vendors, and a vendor still chose to sell cannabis, got in trouble, and we do not want that on our farm. It's really funny, beside the point. Respectfully, we are trying to work within the laws, means this is our family farm, and we are working on our 4th generation running this farm. It is not worth it to lose our farm over people not wanting to abide by the law or be law-abiding citizens at this time. Until we figure out how to protect everything our family has kept for generations, thank you. We had nothing to do with ticket money or vendors for the upcoming event. So it seems like, so after that happened, they closed down the entire website or the Facebook page. It's no longer there. They did make another post saying like, hey, the next upcoming event, which would have happened this weekend, would have had Afro Man as the headliner and a whole bunch of other stuff. That's all canceled. However, the promoter on that wasn't technically the guys from the Holistic Cloud, even though they worked directly with them. It's a whole thing. But because of the raid that had happened, they didn't want to do it. So I'm sitting here like, well, it's real weird that they're closing off all communications. It's definitely leaving a weird taste in my mouth. I don't like that. My snitch radar is starting to go off. I don't know. But I want to make sure. I don't want to just outright call someone a snitch when I don't have any evidence of it. And to be completely frank with you, I don't really think that's what happened. But there isn't exactly, I wouldn't exactly say Billy's innocent in this, but I wouldn't say he snitched. I definitely wouldn't. So from there, I commented on a whole bunch of stuff on their webpage or on their Facebook page, as well as on the videos webpage, the person who still has that video up. You can go look for yourself, look through the comments, see if there's anything I missed in there. So at that point, I'm just sitting here like, well, what in the world is going on? So I see people are saying Billy's snitching, so I reached out to Billy. I will say Billy has not reached out to me once. I have tried on multiple accounts of his. I've tried on Instagram, Facebook, and I encourage him to reach out. I would love to hear his side of the story, but I don't have it. All I have is what Holistic Acres is saying and the people around him are saying. So the other person that is part of them, and I don't know if I have this one screenshot, but I will make sure it's in the video somewhere. They posted on the Holistic Acres LLC page that they're closing permanently. A lot of people were very upset, saying that they felt like they were scammed, this, that, and the other. I don't really think they were trying to scam anyone. I'll be completely transparent about this. So I asked, does this have anything to do with the arrest on your property? Can we know more about what happened? The owner of the property, John Lee, immediately fired back, or not immediately, 2 hours later fired back, no one was arrested. Now, we know that's not true. We've seen the video. You can't lie to us. So Matt Cooper, who's also associated with the Holistic Cloud company as a whole, and Billy Blaze and all them, said they were detained and let go. It was an enforcement of a horrible law, a perfect storm of bullshit, and that's why we shut down the venue, so we could learn exactly what's allowed, because no one fully understands. They remodeled the definition of private property to suit this law. They couldn't win the game, so they changed all the rules. Now, that's something I want to get into exactly right now. So they didn't change the rules on private property. What actually ended up happening is they got a warrant. So how did they get that warrant? Yeah, like there's been events posted all over the place, but why would they go after this event? And that's something that really bugged me, and I was really trying to figure it out. So I even went as far as I actually called the Harrison County where the event happened. I called the sheriff's department. I called the local department. Local department didn't even answer the phone. I don't even think their voicemail was set up. Luckily, the sheriffs did. The sheriffs were really cool. They were very respectful. They knew what I was calling about once I got into it. But the dispatcher on the phone immediately was telling me, or not dispatcher, the guy who answers the phone at the sheriff's department was telling me, no one came in. So at this point, I'm still thinking these guys were actually arrested when I called. And they're telling me no one came in. He was there all day Friday. There had been no way that anyone would have come in and him not know. So I'm like, all right, for sure no one went in. And that's when I also found out they went to another thing the next day, put everyone else at risk, which is not good. And I very much condone those behaviors. If you're hot, stay the fuck home, dude. That's my message to you, Leaf and Lettuce. And I will be telling you it in person as soon as I see you. You're hot, shut the fuck up and lay low. Certain rules of the game you got to follow. So, they weren't arrested. Cool. So, what happened? All right. So, they weren't arrested. Sheriff's telling me that they didn't come in. Can I talk to the detective? Can I talk to anyone who was there on the scene? Oh, you got to wait till Monday. All right, which is also why I'm waiting this long to be able to post this. I also filed an open records request, and I'm still waiting on that. It's been challenging. But they weren't arrested. They were detained. They were handcuffed. The sheriff's detective, I ended up having a phone conversation with him, and I'm going to let you guys listen to that whole conversation here in a second. It was Detective Knight, I believe is what his name was. He was very reluctant to give me any information, but he did share with me that they did, in fact, have a warrant. Now, before I get into too much of this, I do want you guys to listen to this, so we're going to go from here.
So currently there's an ongoing investigation into the sale of THC products at the event from a vendor, and honestly, there's not a lot I can tell you other than that. The investigation is being conducted in a joint operation between the Harris County Sheriff's Office and the Ohio Investigative Unit. But it is the Ohio Investigative Unit's case currently, so really there's not a lot I can tell you about it.
Can you tell me what was there like a phone call involved? Was there
No, I can't tell you anything like that, no.
Okay.
I mean, other than that, law enforcement was present at the event. Law enforcement did conduct an investigation about the illegal sale of THC and THC products at the event. Other than that, there's not a lot I can tell you about since it is still an ongoing investigation. And honestly, it's not primarily Harrison County's investigation, it's Ohio Investigative Unit's investigation.
Oh.
That's pretty much all I can tell you, really. Obviously we did assist them in that investigation because it is in Harrison County, but I mean, really, it's their case, so.
I'm assuming you guys got a warrant for the property then and stuff?
Yes.
Yes, so there was, all right. It's not like it was just like something where you guys just came in with potential probable cause, like there was like, so this investigation has been ongoing, I'm assuming?
I mean, again, I can't really, there's not a lot I can tell you other than that.
I know.
Yes, there was a warrant, there was an investigation, that's about it. I mean, I really,
I know there's only so much you can do, it's okay.
We just assisted, yeah.
So if I wanted to know more, I would have to get a hold of the Ohio Investigative Unit, correct?
I mean, really, they're not going to tell you anything other than what I told you already, too, right. Because, like I said, since it is still ongoing, they aren't going to release anything about it. They're going to release a press release, I'm sure, of what happened. Right. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I can't tell you what they're going to tell you, but I'm assuming they're going to tell you a lot just because it is still ongoing.
Yeah, no, I totally understand, like, legalities and everything like that. I'm just trying to figure out as much as I can just because, like, there's a lot of people up in arms and very nervous, and the way the laws have been in Ohio, everything's been a lot of people are very upset, and I'm just trying to figure out what's really going on, so I appreciate you.
But yeah, I mean, you can try to reach out to them. I mean, I don't know how, like I said, again, I don't know what they're going to tell you.
Yeah.
But I do know that they talked about putting out a press release. So really, whatever they're going to say is going to be in that press release anyway. I doubt they're going to tell you much more than that.
Right.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
But it would be the Ohio Investigative Unit, and they would be the ones that would potentially be putting out the press release.
Yeah, they'll most likely they'll be the ones putting out the press release. I don't see our office doing it. I haven't talked to the sheriff about it today, but yeah.
And I'm assuming because it's an ongoing case, I wouldn't be able to like subpoena or open request.
Can't talk to that right now.
Yeah. I kind of figured.
For as far as filing for a public records request.
Yeah, public records request.
So, I mean, the only time you'll get a public records request, back to you is once the case is closed.
Yep.
Like I said, since it's still ongoing, nobody's going to give you any of that stuff yet.
Yep, that's kind of what I figured. Yeah, go ahead.
Have you reached out to the vendor at the event?
Yeah, I've been trying. I haven't talked to them specifically, but I've kind of gotten word from people around there. I trying to get a hold of the venue. The venue's been. They gave me a paragraph statement saying that like something about a vendor. There was things posted and they were doing things they weren't supposed to do. But I don't know. It kind of feels like they were lightweight set up by the event, especially if there's been an ongoing thing. And I don't know. I'm just, like I said, it's just real weird trying to figure out what transpired, who said what, how it was done. You know what I mean? It's just, I've seen a video.
Well, there's no big conspiracy theory about it. I can tell you that. I mean, it is pretty much what it is. Yeah, there wasn't. It's not any big conspiracy. Like I said, there's illegal sales of THC products. That's pretty much it, man. I mean, there's no confidential informants, nothing like that involved. Other than that, I mean, I can't really tell you much about it. Just like I said, it is our case. Yeah.
But it would be the Ohio Investigative Unit that I would get a hold of to find out what the press release would be, assuming that they would give me the same press release they would give them.
I mean, I would imagine they're probably going to put it out today. So, I mean, if you just keep your eyes on them, I would think you'd see something from them. So.
Okay. Well, even then, they would.
I would assume they're putting it out today. I don't know if they are. It's either going to be today or tomorrow, I would imagine. I mean, they're not going to wait another 2 weeks or something for it. So.
I would imagine. All right. Well, I appreciate you, Detective Knight. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Stay safe and stay blessed.
Yeah, you too.
All right. Bye. So as you guys could see there, or hear for that matter, they did have a warrant. That's the most important thing to me. Because the fact that there's a warrant, and he also did say there was no confidential informant. That tells me right there Billy Blaze didn't snitch. However, he did say the Ohio Investigative Unit was involved in this. And that's where things get really interesting. So, it turns out that when we passed, well, we, the people, didn't pass it. We, the people, went there and stood up against them and got this bill pushed off for about 2 years or a year, something like that, before they eventually passed it without letting us give testimony on it. Otherwise, I would have been there for a third time giving testimony, telling them to not pass this bill. If you guys are going to do something, that's fine, but this is not what you need to do. This is the opposite direction. You're infringing on the will of the voters, not facilitating it, which is what you're only legally allowed to do constitutionally per the Ohio State's Constitution. Anyway, so he said there's no confidential informant. There was no phone call involved, but there was a warrant. The Ohio Investigative Unit is the primary case holder, meaning they are the guys that are researching into this. They are the ones looking into it. This is their case. That case is also open and ongoing. So again, that's what I mean by, hey, Leaf and Lettuce, you're hot. Stay home. They can pull charges for whenever up to a year from now. So they can charge these guys for a felony for having just possession of 2 pounds is technically a felony. I could be wrong, but to my understanding, even though we went rec, still possessing 2 pounds is a felony. Wild, but they can still do that. And then they also have the fact that they allegedly sold to an undercover. So if they allegedly sold to an undercover, yeah, they only got a joint's worth of trafficking but that still leads into a case, which they are then going to watch you and make sure that they can build a bigger case. So that way, when the prosecutor has this mountain of evidence, the burden of proof's on them to prove that you're guilty. You're presumed innocent, but they have this mountain of evidence, my dude. Don't give them a mountain. They have a molehill. Don't make it a mountain. Be smart. Don't be a retard. As Eminem said, quote. So a couple other things that he said there is the Ohio Investigative Unit. And that got me stirring. And I was wondering, what in the world does the Ohio Investigative Unit looking at leaf and lettuce? Well, the thing is they're not. They've also been raiding, I think it was VIP Smoke Shop, Fume Smoke Shop, High Shifters. There's been other raids. They've all been hemp guys, though. Did you know that when SB 56 passed, they made it so that way all the money that we spend at dispensaries, whether they're an OCAN dispensary or not, all that tax dollars, that tax revenue, goes to the general revenue fund, and a large portion of that is directly given to the Ohio Investigative Unit. Why? To enforce things for the DCC and Department of Agriculture for cannabis. Wow, would you look at that? So you mean to tell me Brian's, what is his name? Brian Stewart and Jamie Callender may not have been looking out for our best interests with these bills? What a shocker. It's almost like exactly what we've been saying. So, again, from there, there's also a guy, Matt Cooper, who also, I don't even need to put it in here, the same guy that said the thing from earlier in the chat on a live stream had said something about exactly the story that I told you.
We had a vendor who didn't heed the warnings. Holistic Acres has been trying to make things per the law and just give us a place that we can go have, have these shows and have a good time. Yes, we always have to travel to go see all these big artists. This weekend, like I said, we had somebody who, there was signs soon as you pulled up, it's on the waiver, like no cannabis. And they don't even mean the smoking of it. Like if you're at a campsite or something, whatever, like, I'm never going to tell you can, but they don't care about that. They care about the sale of it. That's what they care about. They send in undercovers. Somebody got popped and sold a fucking pre-roll to an undercover, and they got raided. There was 5 cop cars that come in, took all these guys' shit, and of course that doesn't look good. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't look good on the event. It doesn't look good on the venue. And that sucks because it says all over the flyer, all ages. There was children there. Like it was such a good weekend, man. It was a great.
Allegedly, someone sold to an undercover. Is what it is. It's sad, but there's not much I can do right this second. Once I get more information from my public records request, the body cams, the warrant information, and everything else, I will keep you guys up to date on that, and I will let you know what I find out. So that's the bad news. Sorry to tell you, I'm glad that we're past the bad news. The good news is on Monday is Cannabis Lobby Day at the State House. I will be there. I will actually have a table. I did pay to sponsor the event because this is important to me. I don't have a lot of money, but it's important to me. By the way, you can help me make some money if you subscribe, like, hit the notification bell, and hype the video because all of that makes a big difference. I currently cannot monetize on YouTube, but I would like to. It helps me to be able to continue to do content. It takes me a while to do all this. It takes a long time to research everything, so it does go a long ways. And, sharing it with a friend who might find this information relevant. So the good news is the Cannabis Lobby Day. I will be there. I will also be on one of the legislative panels, or the community impact panel, my bad. I'll be on there with Wes Bryant, Tasha Roundtree, Tim Johnson, and Doug. I don't want to mispronounce or say the wrong last name, so I'm going to go with Doug. I've never met him, so I don't know. But I am looking forward to it. That will be going till about 4. So if you guys are free on Monday, I would love to see you guys there. Oh, and if you guys want to know how I got this black eye, give me just 1 second. Oh, yeah, it's my good dog. Yeah, Eeyore. Yeah, Eeyore. So, As you can see, this is a pretty big dog. This is my biggest dog. He's 80 pounds. Come on, Eeyore, stand up with me. Oh yeah, look how big he is. So, with that being said, the other day, I went to bend over to pick something up off the ground. It was first thing in the morning. This guy had the zoomies. And if anyone knows anything about bully boxer zoomies, they're zoomies. He decided he was going to jump on the bed right at the same time that I was bending over to pick up that item. The top of his dome hit right here. Oh man, did that hurt. Huh, Eeyore? Did you hurt Dad? Yes. So, I hope you guys got as much of a laugh out of that as I can now, because at the moment, oh man, was I not laughing. That hurt so bad. But here we are. Things are better. I still love my Eeyore. Alright guys, I'll catch you guys Monday or in the next one. Remember to share, like, subscribe. Peace.